Good morning, folks. Thanks for joining us. My name is Kelly Fargo. I'm with Global CTI. Global CTI, we're a voice and data integrator. We work primarily throughout the state of California, although we do support some customers that are dabbled throughout North America and globally. We are a voice and data integrator, so we are supporting many of you with your business phone system, both on-premise as well as cloud-hosted. We are joined today by RingCentral. They are a premier partner of ours for Unified Communications as a Service. That acronym is UCaaS, but most of you know it as a cloud phone system provider. They're going to join us today and talk about some of the features and capabilities of a hosted business phone system. I know there's a lot of noise out there. I, for one, am getting tons and tons of emails every day about the benefits of moving to the cloud, options I need to weigh, pros and cons. And we have Paula Freeman-Clark joining us today, who's going to help us sort of cut through that noise and weigh our options. For those of you who are joining us, you may have been enticed by some emails we sent inviting you to join with a DoorDash virtual gift card. If you join us, and then we're going to add some more bonus money onto your card if you're willing to participate, answer some poll questions, answer some questions. We want this to be conversational and exciting, so feel free to pipe in the chat box, and we'll answer your questions or comments as we get to them. But at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Paula. Paula, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly, so much. And good morning. It's so great to see all of the names that are on this list as everybody starts to join this great Lunch and Learn. So before we get started, I kind of tell you a little bit about the screen itself and how to participate. So either at the top or the bottom of your screen, depending on where it launches when you joined the actual presentation, you'll see a little Q&A square. And if you go ahead and click that really quick and just say hello, that way that I know that you know where that is. I'm calling in from beautiful Denver, Colorado. Today I'm actually working from home, which is something we have the luxury of doing every now and then. But go ahead and see if you can go ahead and put in the Q&A feature. Ask a question. Let's see if we've got somebody in the chat. Oh, St. Louis, welcome from St. Louis. Thank you so much. The weather, you know what? The weather in Colorado is, I just got an alert on my watch that says look out for snow flurries. So I think we went from 70 yesterday to snow flurries tomorrow, which is typical for us in this time of year. So it looks like we've got some folks doing things in the chat box. Thank you so very much. We definitely want this to be interactive. And I want to tell Kelly, thank you so much. So one of the poll says, have you started to think about your work from home strategy or cloud strategy? And it looks like from the number of folks we have in here, it looks like 57% voted, and most of them are already saying yes. So I'm going to go ahead and end this poll, which is great because we can definitely see by the environment and the where things are moving to us that we need to have some sort of a strategy in place. And yesterday I was actually speaking with one of my teammates, and he used to be in charge of like disaster recovery and for Verizon. And one of the things that they would always, the question they always asked themselves was, if tomorrow, you woke up tomorrow and you absolutely had to do everything to run your company, your business, your employees, and you couldn't come into an office, you had to all do it remotely, would you have all of the proper tools to be as productive as possible without missing a beat? And they also thought about things like fire and floods. What is it going to take to always make certain that everybody has the equipment that they need to be very productive? And one of the things, I've been with RingCentral now for, it'll be a year on the 18th. I did have 14 years with AT&T and Cricket Wireless before. One of the things I've learned as employee at RingCentral is how incredibly productive I am now with the tools that they have. They're absolutely fabulous, between video meetings and instant messaging and being able to use my own phone. So there's so many things that are really keeping this productive. But what we're really seeing is that the business playbook is being rewritten, and it's not just being rewritten by the environment, but really the changing employee environment. You know, as millennials come in, they're used to working remotely, they're used to using their devices, they're not really used to always having to come into an office. And customer expectations are also really changing. The way customers communicate with us, they want to be able to communicate in the manner that works best for them. That's where we're really seeing this shift come into the cloud, you know, where the cloud is so flexible, making certain that people can work from anywhere. So we're getting mobile, more of this mobile workforce. Our teams are very distributed. Our team, I'm not sure if this is the same for you. We work all over not only the nation, but we work all over the world. And so being able to keep in touch with each other without being siloed, and that's, you know, making certain that everybody has the same tools. The ability to use your own device is huge. I don't have to carry 2 devices. I have 2 separate phone numbers. One of the one business number, which is my RingCentral number, and everything goes through there, so I don't have to give out that private number as well. I have all the applications I could possibly need and want, and that's also very, very important, such as, you know, Salesforce.com, Okta, everything is right here on my device. And of course, being cloud software makes it so much more versatile. The space is unlimited for storage. So really those are things that we're really seeing. And that's one of the huge reasons that we're seeing this big push to the cloud. Also, it's very simple to set up. I'm having just a couple of statistics. This is also a reason that we're really seeing this move from on-premise base to cloud infrastructure, is that as our employees and everybody becomes much more mobile, we're really needing to make certain that we've got all the tools for our employees. Global, 52% of companies with less than $1 billion in revenue really rely on near or offshoring. So as we expand, wanting to make certain that not only does our system work here, but it works globally. Always on. And I would have to ask this question, and you guys, if you want to answer it in the chat box or if you want to answer it in Q&A, how many of us in this call have actually worked somewhere besides an office in the last week? I'm going to wait for just a second. I see in the chat. Yep. Where did you work? I see yep and me, everybody. Where were some of the places that you all the time? I hear that one as well. Yep. Starbucks, coffee shop. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Hopefully I hear a lot of people off the soccer field. A lot of people say from their car. I always hope that that's never while they're actually driving a conference or an exhibit hall. Yeah, we're pretty much connected all the time. You know, and that's either a blessing or a curse, you know, however you like to look at it. But we really are really connected, and making certain that wherever you are, that you have all of the tools you need. And it says that because we're always on, that the average employee works 20 plus hours of personal time working per week. Also, we use lots of devices. I know for a fact that I've got a laptop, I've got a phone, I've got a tablet, I've got a MacBook. I mean, so you kind of think of all of the Internet of Things devices that we have, and how we really need to make certain that all of those are using the same type of equipment. So not only are we seeing this, but, you know, industry leaders like Gartner, and this is a really startling fact, I'll never forget the first time I saw this, is that by 2021, which of course is just right around the corner, 90% of IT leaders will not purchase new premise-based UC infrastructure. There's a lot of reasons for that. Some of those, of course, is because cloud is, you know, just has so much more features and functions. It's much easier to set up. It's easier to add and reduce from. Analytics are better. Dashboards are better. It's easier. It's less expensive. Expands easier. So it's not just, you know, we're not seeing it just here, but it's definitely industry statistics are showing this. One of the things that's very important as technology changes is that if we don't change with it, and we kind of see this in some of the, I used a few examples, and I'm a little older, and so I remember when, of course, there were, you know, albums, and then I remember when there were 8-track tapes, and then I remember, of course, we had cassette tapes, and as technology changes, of course, we don't use many of those forms of music at all. Of course, most of us are using some sort of streaming from the cloud, some sort of streaming music service. But we also noticed this in kind of, our film and camera industry as well. So as digital took over, if you took a look at your phone and you actually pulled it out right now and you went, oh, how many actual photos do you actually have on your phone downloaded? I think we would all come up with lots of different numbers there. I'm just going to ask really quick in a poll. All right, use that chat feature. How many photos do you have on your phone? Just for fun. I think I've got over 800. But thousands, 9,450. I've got thousands. 3,600. Thank you. Absolutely. And if you can remember a time when you actually had to buy film, if you wanted to take a really great photo, and then of course you had to send it off and wait for it and hope that you did a really good job. I just really think about when I think of thousands or 9,450, what that would have cost, to develop all of those photos and where would you have kept them? So we're using the cloud now for email, we're using it for photos, and as technology changes, we have changed with it so that we can kind of progress. And then the old technology is now gone. We don't see all of those big machines in Walgreens and Walmarts any longer. So this slide really just speaks about what's the risk of doing nothing. If we're not proactive for our company and we're not proactive for our employees, and we see that technology is changing and it's getting better and it's making it easier for people to be functional, if we don't do anything, everything you see on the screen is happening. And we're really seeing this right now, with the coronavirus, people really being more remote, and we really want to make certain that they've got their proper employee engagement and that you have the ability to scale and that you keep your productivity exactly where it needs to be. I did not have to drive into the office today in order to get my job done. But the one on the left that I've really noticed that's been a huge improvement in my world personally is the siloed tools. All of our tools are the same, which is really fabulous and amazing because I only have one password to remember. But the next piece on that is that because this is a technology company, and I am not, quote unquote, a technology girl, I'm a sales girl. So I rely on a whole different mindset to make sure that the folks that are amazing in the technology aspect of the world, that I have access to them. So we create groups all the time. And one of the groups that we have is Ask an SE, and that's our internal group. And at anytime, 24 hours a day, I can go in and write a question, a very technical question that I can't answer myself. And any one of our hundreds of SEs can respond to it immediately, which makes my world and my job so much easier. I'm not waiting, on an email or one single person that I might know to answer. So it really brings the productivity piece together. I get more done than I have ever got done in the past. So it's a great thing. I wanted to give you a real world example of one of our customers, and hopefully everybody is familiar with Box. You can raise your hand, and I think that there's a little poll where you can raise your hand. Fantastic. They are, of course, a cloud-based storage company. They store data, and a few years back, Box came to us, and they really needed a solution for their employees. They had way too many applications. I think that they had actually over 100 different types of applications. They were disjointed. Their employees were really frustrated and suffering from lack of productivity, and they really wanted to make certain that everything they had internally was working beautifully. So we partnered with them, and we were able to take 10 of their communications applications and get rid of those. And I'll show you those in just a moment and bring them into one application, which was the RingCentral office. But another thing that they had is they had global offices with over 2,000 phone numbers. And because RingCentral is actually also, quote unquote, a phone company, we were able to very quickly port those numbers over. And we did this within a 2-week time frame, which was also, everybody wants something done very quickly. So they needed an open API, of course, because they have all of their own applications that needed to work within the new system. And what the solution was is we helped them with some of our pre-built integrations and applications. We introduced them to Global Office and Meetings so that they could really work with all of their globally. And then we had RingCentral Professional Services come in and get them up and running in that 2-week time frame. So I don't know if you've heard, but Box was one of the first companies globally to ask all of its employees to work from home, and they do that with RingCentral. So we're really excited to partner and be part of that solution for them. But what you see here on the left, Cisco WebEx, Microsoft Teams, GoToAssist, TalkDesk, Mitel, all of these applications were the 10 applications that they now no longer pay licenses for. So this was great. It was a huge cost savings, but more than cost savings, it was really also, they saved in what they call soft costs as well. And that's where employees were just so much happier that they were really using one tool to be productive. And on the right-hand side, you can see, some of those, the voice, the fax, conferencing, team collaboration, text messaging, video meetings, of course, analytics, and that open and integrated system. So we're very proud to have them as a partner as well. So this next section just really talks about if you were an on-premise customer, why would you maybe be looking to make this change? What's happening in your world today? And it could be that the platform that you have right now is it could be rigid, or it doesn't have all the features that you need. You might have too many desperate vendors like we saw with Box. There's just too many things going on, trying to keep up with those licenses, a new license for every employee that comes on, complex management, failover support. So RingCentral is 5 nines, so we are always on, but we are also geo-redundant. We have 14 data centers around the world. They're definitely constantly making certain that everything in those data centers are very well protected, and that they, if anything happens, there's always a failover support for each one of our data centers. And we spend more on research and development for security and future growth than all of our competitors combined. We do that in 1 year. So some of the questions that we might ask you, or that Global CTI might ask you, is, what do you really need to integrate with? That's going to be very important as you're thinking about making any type of a move or a change. What features really drive revenue for you? And we want to make certain that those get included as well. How might a single solution really improve any type of efficiency that you have or proficiencies? And then how can a geo-redundant failure, support or improve your communications? Just knowing that all of your data is secure and that you will always be on. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to pause for just a second. So if you've used cloud in the past, you may have run into some of these things. Maybe it was the quality of service. So one thing with RingCentral, of course, is that we've got enterprise-grade voice quality. It is amazing, so you're not going to get a lot of that chatter or clicking. Quality of support, and I'll show you where you are here with RingCentral. Maybe lack of integrations, or integrations cost something. Maybe it wasn't very easy to use, maybe difficult pricing models, and multiple vendors to really get exactly what you need. So one of the things that we would probably ask you is, what frustrations are you currently having with support? So we really understand, what you need with the type of support service that you're looking for. We want to make certain that you have a simplified user experience, making certain that everything for you and your team really is just a click of a button. And what benefits to you and your team are there when your solution integrates with the applications that you are using on a daily basis? And that's really huge, even if they're homegrown applications. The only reason I really show this slide, not to be ultra boastful, but it's really important as we make decisions, my decisions, your decisions. I don't know, anytime I buy something new, I always research it. I usually have my fail safes that I go to that I know are going to give me the right information, is to go with a company that is not only able to execute and get things done, but the one that really stands out for me personally is this completeness of vision. As technology moves and it changes, you want to make certain that you're going with somebody that's looking future forward or future focused, especially in cloud. That's where the research and development dollars really come into play, is that there's not a lot that goes back into the profit of the company. It goes really into how can we be on the cutting edge? What's next? What's happening? How do we keep keep one step ahead, because what I think I always heard the quote, what's the worst version of RingCentral that you're ever going to get? And that's today's, because it's always going to get better the next day. So it's just always changing. So before I move forward, I'm going to ask the CTI team, or I'm going to ask anybody, do you guys have any questions yet, or any thoughts or comments?
Yeah, Paulo, Jessica has a question. She wants to know if she has the opportunity to take it for a test drive, to try it before she buys it.
Oh, that's a great, of course. Jessica, we definitely, if you are interested in having a demo, we can certainly set one of those up. We can have one of our solutions, our SEs come in, really walk you through the actual product itself. Plus, you can download a free version of the RingCentral app, from the App Store if you want to take a look at it from that viewpoint. It doesn't have the full suite, but you at least get a good feeling for what's in, that RingCentral application. And yes, we would love to have somebody from CTI get together with you, a global CTI, and get that demo started for you.
All right. Brad wants to know if this is cost effective for a small business with only 5 users.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, Brad, thank you. That's a great question. So, I love our slogan, we're from 1 to infinity. So we're a great solution for just a single, somebody that's looking for one license, small businesses, large businesses. If productivity is something that you're looking for, ease of use, absolutely. We've got plans that range from the enterprise user to somebody that wants something very simple. So I would also get together with CTI, and they can talk a little bit about what they offer as far as pricing, and take a look at what you're using today. I think that's a big factor in this.
Okay, I think we have another one. Sean wants to know if this would be a good solution for company-wide meetings with video.
Okay, great. That's great. So absolutely. And I don't know if there's anybody on that side that has their video, if they feel like turning it on. Or video is super easy from the actual application itself. So there we go. I don't know if I can turn mine on. No. Hey, Janice. Fantastic. So yes, very easy. Just from a click of a button, hey, hi team. You can turn video on. Everybody can be in the same room. We actually do all of our meetings this way. So depending on how many folks you have in your company, sometimes and where you like to set it, it can be off to the right. Or we have like a Brady Bunch. I think there's 12 of us, and you can see all 12 of us in the screen itself. Because part of our team is in Manila, it's really nice because we really feel like that they're right there in the room. You can see facial expressions. You can really tell if somebody's, if they're on board, they're not on board. I love the video feature. Janice, you have any feedback on that one?
It depends. Sometimes I like video. It depends on my work from home day and what's going on. But I risked it here, but yeah, it's fun.
You're the best.
And it makes it easy. And it really is nice to see facial expressions to make sure people are paying attention. I'm sure sales managers will all agree that, on the sales calls, we never know what's going on and people are muted. So it's nice to see that you've got people watching and, everyone's here.
I think for a trainer, for me, especially if I need to do a remote training and it's maybe it's where we're kind of doing a skills practice, or so we can actually skills practice together. I don't have to be right in front of you, but we can really have that good interaction and see each other. I even have a whiteboard here in my office, and sometimes I'll turn the video around and I'll whiteboard from here so that you can really kind of feel like that you're, side by side. That's a great question. I am going to turn my video off though for right now. How about you, Janice?
As it unmute, yeah, me too.
All right, those are great questions. Thank you, team. Those are fantastic. I love those. So moving forward, I just have a few more slides. So as you can see, the RingCentral application itself, RingCentral Office, sometimes we call it GLIP. That was just the name of the company that we bought one of the pieces of software from. It actually is designed from the handset, so that whatever you get from your phone, since so many of us use our device daily for absolutely everything is that the quality has to be amazing from that platform first. So we go from phone to tablet to PC, to like say an actual screen from your computer screen. So everything seamlessly, from one application. So if I'm at the office and I'm using my desktop and I'm making a phone call, if I pick up my phone will immediately ask me if I want to transfer that call to my phone. So very seamlessly going back and forth. As you can see in the photo here, you can see all of the different video cameras at the top. When we do our global calls, that line will get really long and you can scroll to the right to see everybody's face that's actually on the call. It's the screen that you see on the right. This is going to be kind of the application that you would see if you were to download the RingCentral app. You can create teams on the left. The one thing I will say about this particular application is that there is no file size limit. So if I'm, as a trainer, I send very, very large PowerPoint decks and video files, that would be impossible from my email. So I hardly have any email that comes through because most of what we do internally. And then of course, with the global CTI team, we also send all of our files this way as well. And there's never an expiration date. So they are always, available. So you never have to worry about anything ever going away or clogging up that email. So just have a couple more slides left. And one thing I just want to make certain is that everybody knows the foundation, of course, is voice, fax, and text. And that's two phone, you have a separate phone number from your regular phone number, so you never have to give out a personal phone number. That team messaging is incredible, creating groups, creating teams. And as you're actually messaging, you can, with just the click of a button, you can get a voice call together, or you can do a video meeting instantly. There's nothing else you have to do but tap. And then we do have contact center. I'll talk just very briefly about that. Analytics, having that open API platform really makes have the world of developers at your fingers and global. And then this is that open API gallery. We have over 170 out-of-the-box pre-built integrations that are ready to go. And depending on what plan you choose, those can be complementary. And then 2,000 custom integrations. So if you don't see anything here, we have made a lot of custom integrations. But you also have 12,000 plus developers at your fingertips. So if there's something special you'd like to see built, please, we'd love to talk to you about it and see if that's something that can, I very rarely have ever heard no. So it's, it just depends on what it is that you need. So we also have an app website. If you'd like to take a look, the CTI folks can help you with that. And then last but not least, before I turn it over to Jenna, we can get contact center up and running like nobody's business. So we've got options for inbound contact center, outbound with predictive dialing, digital, which is amazing. We've got digital engage, engaging in the way your customer likes to through social media, messaging, in-app, email, chat, reviews, so on and so forth. That open platform with that open API. And then, of course, being that core, that modern cloud architecture and infrastructure really makes things, adding, deleting, just flexibility is incredible. And last but not least, award-winning customer satisfaction. I'm sure that just like you, our customers are, really top of mind. If you don't have great customer satisfaction, you probably aren't going to be in business very long. And so RingCentral definitely wants to make certain that you're very, very happy. We've got a 99 point something, very, very high percent retention rate. So once customers do come to RingCentral, they're very happy. They stay with us for a long time, and that's because we really pride ourselves on making certain that you are very well taken care of. And last but not least, we've got a special offer for the folks that are on the phone. So, Jenna.
Yes, thanks, Paula. I just wanted to share, we know that this is a super difficult time. So RingCentral has put together an offer. If you or anyone you know is an educator, K through 12, a healthcare provider, or a nonprofit, we're going to offer RingCentral for free for the next 3 months. And that includes video meetings, messaging for collaboration, and phone. So I'll shoot out the link in the chat, but please feel free to share it with your network if you know anyone that's interested.
Awesome. Jenna, thank you. It's so good to hear another voice too.
For sure.
And that takes us, to our end of this particular presentation. We would love to hear from you. Is there anything that stood out from the presentation you'd like to hear a little bit more about? Or I've got the chat open. Very helpful offer.
Ryan, yeah, Ryan really liked that 3 months free.
Good. It's just being able to try it. Or like the demo, if you're curious at all, if this is something that's even remotely you've been thinking about, please, reach out. We're really happy to share our knowledge and what we know. Global CTI is an amazing partner. They've invited you here and you took the time to spend with us. We're super excited to also offer you some lunch here in a minute. Anything else, team?
Yeah.
We wrap it up.
Well, this is Kelly with Global. I did just want to say that, we're very happy with RingCentral. We utilize several of the features here internally. We drink our own Kool-Aid, and we wouldn't be holding this webinar for this fabulous partner if we didn't think that they were amazing and comfortable that our customers would love them too. So my information's on that last slide. Feel free to reach out to me, or if you are already in contact with somebody here at Global, we would be more than happy to come out and meet with you and take you for a test drive.
Also, and Chelsea has a question in the chat. And Jenna, this is RingCentral is powered by Zoom. Would the transition from Zoom proper to RingCentral be fairly easy? I'm going to go off and just say yes. Since Chelsea, do you have Zoom today? Yes. So if you have Zoom, we can certainly, it would be either an integration, we can just integrate the two together. You probably wouldn't, of course, need the Zoom product, but absolutely. What you're going to get with RingCentral is you're going to get all of the other than just the video, you're going to get everything else that goes with it, all of the other Office products. And we can give you a call too, Chelsea, and answer that a little bit deeper. Awesome. You're welcome. This was great. Thank you for inviting us today.
Thanks, Paula. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, team.